Hey everybody, Sive Morten is here with the Forex Peace Army.com as usual. So let's take a look what is going on the Forex market. Today we take a look at euro currency and the British pound, just trying to estimate what to expect in Euro's future, because by my view on the pound the picture looks a bit more clear than on euro currency. Maybe it will help us to understand what's going on here. But speaking in general, to make the forecast in the current environment and based on the performance that I see here, well, it's really the big challenge, because it's lots of uncertainty here, especially with this shutdown, it's postponing of the payrolls report. So I don't know what the traders will do today, but all this stuff definitely makes impact on the market performance, brings more volatility, excluding some actually direction. So markets just, well, do not know what to do and what to expect next, because major statistics releases, which is coming not from the private agencies, will be postponed. So I will not be surprised if we will not get the inflation data in the middle of October, if the shutdown will last for longer. So anyway, we now have to make some conclusions on the performance and decide what to do next. So first of all, on the daily chart, in general, we could say that trend remains bearish. So we should base our background on the clear facts that we have. Recently, market has dropped lower. It means that all the bullish grabbers that have been formed on the follow time frame chart have been erased. From that standpoint of view, if you take a look at the hourly chart, it's very difficult to call it as a bullish picture, right? So grabbers that we've got here have been vanished by this drop. ABCD pattern also destroyed. So after minor target has been reached, market drops significantly lower. So from that standpoint of view, here with this minor hand shoulders pattern is definitely it is in stage of the failure, which suggests theoretically that market should drop below the A point. So probably this context is difficult to call as a bullish. Returning back to the idea of the bigger hand shoulders on the fall time frame chart, which we discussed earlier, if you remember. So we said let's watch for this one. If it will lead us to this pattern, that will be something that we could use for planning taking the long position, because that is not enough yet. So we need something bigger that definitely will point us that euro is ready for upward action. But currently you can see that currently it hasn't happened. Theoretically, we could suggest it's maybe shorter, some kind of the double head, the market return back down in the shape of the double bottom and then return back up. But currently I do not see any sense to talk about it, because, well, why we should actually discuss the patterns that are not exist yet. So for our chart doesn't bring a lot of clarity on possible direction. Now let's take a look at the British pound. As I said, it could help us. So first of all, we take a look at the weekly chart, because we're looking at the cable in general, but here the few moments exist on the big chart. So market has reached this trend line, forming reversal week, and well, in the recent 2 weeks it stands flat. But overall context here, it's remains slightly bearish. Some kind of the ABCD retracement anyway could happen here. On a daily, the situation looks a bit clearer compared to what we have on the euro currency, right? So here we definitely have some widening consolidation. And what the conclusion we could make based on this? Take a look what we have traded previously here. Recall this hand shoulders pattern that we traded. We said this great, if you remember, this was also great bread and butter trade on the high time frames. We said let's buy in this for strong confluence, and it takes the shape of the hand shoulders. It has been completed. So we've got this ABCD target. And take a look what has happened next. Market has dropped below its neckline. So this hand shoulders is not working anymore. And we can't suggest, based on this pattern, that market should keep going to the next extension, 1618. So applying this logic, it tells us that if market is not going to go higher, and this pattern is already complete and actually done, which means the chances on the downside continuation looks a bit more preferable. It's more possible. Price here compared to euro currency stands close to the MACD, and if on euro we have to wait at least a few sessions still to get or maybe not get grabbers, On a cable, this might happen either today or maybe on the beginning next week. So if it will happen, that will just confirm our suggestion that market could drop. And currently on the intraday charts, on the Great British Pound, we have two mutually exclusive patterns. First is on the 4-time frame chart, similar hand shoulders as on euro currency, but here it already tested the neckline and stands in the point where hand shoulders either has to start work or it will fail. Market will just keep dropping, right? So in fact, if you would like to take a long position, usually we're on the bottom of the right arms, we make a decision about it. It's saved lots of money. And on the hourly chart, if we take a look, we have this shape. In fact, its opposite hand and shoulders is forming here. Correspondingly, one of them has to fail, right? So either 4-hour time frame chart has to start pushing price higher back to the 135.30 area, right? And these hand shoulders start failing, or vice versa. If this will start working, market will drop below the neckline, that will be break actually on the 4 time frame chart, and it will break this shoulder, which is promised to push price below the 133. Now, combining all the stuff that we have, I would say that in general, context looks slightly more bearish rather than bullish. And if we transform these ideas on the euro currency. Of course, euro is a bit different currency, but since the picture there looks much more choppy and less clear, the things that we see on Great British Pound also could help us. So, what the conclusion we could make? In general, I prefer to get a bit more clearer setups for the trading. Currently, I wouldn't call the setup as clear setup. That's why if you can, maybe it makes sense to not trade today. Just wait for holidays, what news will be released, and see what will happen next week. Still, if you would like to trade, theoretically you could try to make the bet on this hand shoulders failure. So market right now stands on some retracement. Maybe it will be some kind of the ABCD or something. And theoretically you could try to take the short against the stop, suggesting that everything will continue to go down. But as I said, this setup doesn't look very attractive to me because of lots of choppiness. We do not have a very strong background on the high time frames that support this idea. And overall situation right now stands, well, a bit unstable. So investors are just remains boring, don't know what to do, and that could make impact on performance on intraday charts. So that in 2 words what we have on the euro and cable. Now we just need to get confirmation about whether we're correct or not on this suggestion. So probably should happen in the nearest few sessions. So if you're right, if we're right, then probably everything starts moving to the downside, including the Great British Pound as well. So now let's see and just watch what will happen.